Good morning. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to be talking about Kaervek. Kaervek is 5/4, yeah, 7 mana. That's not a really great deal, but his worth comes from his actual ability. Wow, not you, but whenever an opponent plays a spell, they take damage equal to its mana cost. So, my idea when I first read this card a long time ago when it came out in Time Spiral was, wow, it just hurts to play the game. And then when I picked him up to build this deck, I was like, you know what? It hurts to play Magic. Sometimes that's true. And Kaervek, I believe, wants to push that. So, first let's go ahead and get the mana ramp out of the way. Or, well, it's more color fixing than mana ramp. We got our Soul Ring. The Darksteel Ingot is key. It's about the only mana ramp I could find that's not, will blow up with half my spells. But the Monument, Power Stone, Border Post. By the way, loving the Border Post because it's on turn 1, it's a tap dual land a lot of times. The Key Rune and the Clue Stone. Now, I think I have these sorted in mana cost. So, let me pick and choose first. Now, I guess probably the best thing to do is go through the turn order. So we, in turn order, what we do is untap. Citadel of Pain is going to deal damage to, clean up that text a little bit, deal damage equal to your untapped lands. And then you go through your upkeep step, which the upkeep step, a lot happens there. We have a lot of artifacts and enchantments because I tried to find every single way that you could take damage by anything that you do. Now, to go with Kaervek's ability, we have the Howling Mine, the Teferi's Puzzle Box, and the Horn of Greed. Now, what that does is it does put a lot of cards in their hand, and players want to play with them. I mean, especially with the Puzzle Box. If I don't play it now, I may never get it again, so it encourages them to play the cards that are in their hand, and drawing the extra cards doesn't really hurt with Underworld Dreams out there either, or maybe even if you've got the Black Vice on somebody. Now, if anybody plays land, they're going to take 2. Now, hopefully, we have tutored up a Urza's Armor, so we're only taking 1. Let's see here. Upkeep, if they don't, if they don't have a lot of cards, if they're playing out all the cards so that the Puzzle Box Underworld Dreams combo doesn't get them, then the Lavaborn Muse or the Rack, and now the Cursed Rack, because they just got a discard down to 4. Did not put what am I thinking of? Megrim. They take 2 every time they discard because there's not a whole lot of discard. I am running a Havoc Festival because, nobody should be gaining life. And the original Havoc Festival, Forsaken Waste. I like the Heart of Bogardens. By the way, this is on the reserve list, so, another weird card that probably shouldn't be there. This is one of those weird cumulative upkeep cards that you want to keep around a long time, but it doesn't really do anything while it's on the board. It's when it dies, target player and each creature they control, which is not bad. Now, if if anybody taps a land for mana, they're going to deal 1 damage. Of course, hopefully you've got the armor out. Haunting Wind. Somebody uses an artifact, take a damage. And hey, that's double damage. And just in case that crazy pro-red or pro-black, we're going to make all our stuff colorless. Now, Hissing Miasma, that hits them when they attack you. Caltrops hits the creature when they attack you. By the way, Caltrops is it's amazing. It's an amazing card, especially in a few specific decks, but it's good anyway because it keeps those nasty 1/1 tokens and Goblin tokens, Pegasus tokens, Elf tokens. It's a real thing, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Impatience. Even if they didn't play a spell, they take some damage. Ancient Runes. During their upkeep, they take a damage for each artifact they control. You know, that's us too. We've got a few, but not a whole lot. Antagonism is the reverse of the other. During your discard step, you take 2 unless you damage somebody. Gloom, of course, is going to make it hard on the white players. Boil is going to make it hard on the blue. And, of course, Flashfire to go with it. Magnetic Mountain. We're choking their hands now. And choking their board so that they are mounting up cards. Hopefully. I like Desolation. At the end of each turn, each player tapped a land for mana, sacks it. If they sack a plains, they take a shot. Which kind of goes... The Jokalops is a perfect natural fit for the deck simply because it does kill everything but all your cool enchantments. So, artifacts, creatures, lands go bye-bye, and they don't have a lot of ways to deal with your enchantments that are on the board. Of course, Sudden Impact's going to punish for holding that one blue player that holds cards in their hand. Let's get some just utility out of the way. Terminate, Murder, Innocent Blood. Now, Innocent Blood is probably not going to affect us that much because I believe we only have 2 creatures. Hamlet back Goliath, which is, I mean, he's a finisher, that's it. You know, he's not outstanding in any way. I almost didn't put any creatures in, but a lot of times this guy, when you just run him out there and by the time you untap, if you untap with him, he's ridiculous. Anethomancer. I almost view this more as a sorcery than I do a creature because you run him out and you just want him to die. Wheel of Fate's going to refill hands, and it goes along with the card drawing. Rakdos Charm can knock somebody out if they've just storm herded, or you know, it's such a utility card. Exile a graveyard, destroy a rock, or you know, kill the goblin player. Terminus Crypt's going to terrorize that graveyard deck. Ether Snap. I'm looking at you, Atraxa. Super Friends is gone. Yep, because tokens and counters. Yeah, well, it's useful against other decks, but this is just about the silver bullet for Atraxa. Now, Death Pits of Wrath is, you know, they take a damage, they draw a card. I thought about the Pestilence or Pyrohemia, but I don't have enough creatures to guarantee it's going to stay out alive a while, so I decided to just use Death Pits of Wrath and let that be that. I mean, we have a one-shot as far as the Earthquake, but let's see, Rakdos Returns kind of utility. It's somebody somewhere decided it was a good idea to put Mind Twist and Fireball on the same card. Wow. hey, if they play a lot of creatures or get a lot of tokens, this is excessively punishing to the Celestia token decks. Wow. I mean, creature comes into play, they got to sack a creature or a land. I wish the creature part wasn't in there. That would just be, very, very despicable. Perish. It's a 3-mana Wrath for green dudes. Speaking of Wraths, of course, we have destroy all non-enchantment creatures, and then the Crux of Fate. Now, Disrupt Decorum. I think this card gets overlooked a lot because go to all creatures you don't control. Yeah, that means by the time you untap on your next turn, every creature will have attacked. Of course, barring Vigilance, all of them will be tapped. I don't know if that has... I don't think this is the deck to really, really take advantage of that, but it does encourage everybody to attack everybody else, and you want to talk about speeding the game up. I believe this deck is just, half in life and not gaining and everybody taking damage. It's going to be a quick game as long as this deck is at the table. A couple of 5-mana shots here. The Bituminous Blast is just to shoot down a creature with bonus of randomness, so it's whatever. Breath of Malfagor, of course, most of the time this is 15 or 20 damage for 5 mana. And yeah, you kind of upset everybody at the table, but there are times I've cast this and knocked 2 players out. So, and last but not least is a card a lot of people just don't give enough respect to, is Wake of Destruction. Now, Wake of Destruction, if there's a mono-color deck at the table, you can just about end their game. Now, yeah, that's not a very cool thing to do, but let's face it, we're playing Kaervek, and it's all about Magic hurting. Playing the game hurts, so I guess it is in the spirit of the Commander. But if you get, if there are 2 or 3 players playing the same color, you can just, now granted, we play a whole lot of non-basics, so, but you know what? If everybody's got their command tower out, that's pretty sweet. Anyway, I do appreciate you watching. Y'all let me know what you think. Right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.